From a suburban house in Brisbane, members of the Tongan diaspora share their prayers on community radio and TV.
People were crying, there's been a lot of high emotions. We got some church leaders online to offer words of encouragement.
We just want people out there to share, to share their agony and their grief.
Mele Nawamo is anxiously waiting for news from her brother and two sisters.
Who knows, they might be okay, but as far as I'm concerned, of not hearing anything, it's so worrying, devastating.
The 1 in 1,000-year volcanic eruption has raised many disturbing questions, with so few answers.
For local people, most of them won't really know what to expect next. I think even experts can't ever be sure what to expect next.
What little we do know is that the eruption has sent a series of tsunamis across the vast Pacific Ocean, with at least 3 fatalities. And the people who live in the Tongan capital, Nuku'alofa, just 65 kilometres away from the volcano, are having to contend with layers of potentially dangerous volcanic ash.
Nuku'alofa is a coastal city. It's right there on the coast. The Royal Palace would be at the very forefront of the tsunami wave, along with a lot of the banks, hotels and some of the major infrastructure.
We have all seen photographs and videos even just shared in social media. They do seem to show enough ash on roofs and on the ground to be potentially a problem, at least for transport, even if not for water and sewage.
Although these satellite images show the Tongan capital before and after the eruption, we still don't know just how dangerous this ash is to human health.
Some fallout from volcanic eruptions can be slightly acidic, and that can affect the chemistry of the water that people drink or other uses. We have lots of uses for water. Sometimes the acidic fallout from volcanic eruptions can even affect vegetation, as in agriculture and various animals.
And efforts to help the people of Tonga are being severely hampered by a breakdown in nearly all communications to the Pacific nation. That's because the eruption cut a critical underwater cable, the 875-kilometre optic fibre that links Tonga to the Pacific network and the rest of the world.
As our world becomes more technologically advanced in the future, we're going to have conversations about how we protect this critical infrastructure that we all rely on every single day. I think it's a fundamental human need to want to know that your family and friends are safe and well after a disaster's occurred. And the fact that Tongans as expats living overseas can't get in touch with their families, I can only begin to imagine how frightening and overwhelming that must be.
The last time Mele Nawamo heard from her family was 3 days ago, when they were on their way to higher ground.
There's no way I can get in touch with them. I just go to our page and put my little message on it. Love you, love you, love you. Thinking of you. Where are you? As long as you are okay. When you have the chance, please just drop in a line.
Australian and New Zealand defence surveillance aircraft have now been sent to Tonga to assess the extent of the damage, although the disaster may not be over yet. Hunga Tonga Hunga Ha'apai began a series of more minor eruptions 4 weeks ago, and there could be more to come.
This sort of activity could be expected on sort of the weeks to months, so people will have to keep an eye on it.
Even in the best case scenario, Tonga will need considerable help.
Tonga itself is made up of 170 or so islands. So we do have some fears for islands that have around 100 to 200 people living in those places. And we really do want to hear more from them.
And managing a disaster in the midst of a COVID epidemic provides an extra challenge.
So Tonga has, over the last couple of years, managed to do an awesome job of staying COVID-free, and we can completely understand why the government is really hesitant and has a lot of protocols around aid items that might be coming in or people who might be coming in to support the response.
Those with family across the Pacific are hoping for some better news soon.
I think this cleanup effort's going to be absolutely massive, but what we're hoping is that it's not as widespread across the main island. But that said, it's more lives are number one, and so far we hope this death toll doesn't increase any more than it has already, and then second to that is the welfare of the people.
Hi, I'm Lee Sales. Thanks for watching this story. If you'd like to watch more of 730's stories, they are on the left of your screen. And tap on the button below to subscribe and get the latest from ABC News.